everybody. Today's not a good day. I had, put on my folder that I actually have for my YouTube videos, a good day of fibromyalgia and a bad day. Well, obviously, you can see that today is a bad day. I woke up this morning. First telltale of a bad day for me with fibromyalgia is I oversleep. I end up sleeping in. And if I have to get up early in the morning, whatever it is that I have to do it quickly because oftentimes I'm experiencing a headache. Today, I'm experiencing a headache. So my hair is, I just took my bonnet off. I should have just left my bonnet on. Completely stripped of all makeup. If you can see, I had a rough night sleeping because I have the bags under my eyes. But I wanted to come here and kind of educate you all on fibromyalgia. I do have a video already on fibromyalgia that I did some years ago. Fibromyalgia is a musculoskeletal condition, and it also involves the joints. So for those of you who already have problems with your joints or muscle conditions or anything else, if fibromyalgia is thrown in the mix, it just makes the situation all the more worse. So I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 2008 by two doctors. The issue with fibromyalgia is a lot of doctors, a lot of healthcare professionals don't believe that it is a real illness. Anyway, and they also don't suffer with it. When I experience the bad days like this is how it is. I can't eat. I can barely sleep. I have extreme nausea, and I have aching of every joint in my body, and I also have the aching of my muscles. In addition to that, when I do eat, should I get an appetite during the day or during what is called a fibromyalgia, oh my goodness, it's on the tip of my tongue, where you have a fibromyalgia. It's like I'm going to say outbreak, but it's not. It's another word. I'll put it down at the bottom. I can't even think. That's how it is. Fibromyalgia affects the entire body. It affects your thought process. It affects your brain. You get a foggy brain. My eyes are constantly watering. Like right now, to be frankly honest with you all, I'm surprised I'm doing this video because it feels like I'm going to puke. Seriously. And nothing's on my stomach. I did go, however, and try to get me something to drink, something hot to drink. And hopefully this will suffice any feelings that I may have of being sick. But it's really, really sad. Actually, when I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 2008, it was a relief for me because I had actually moved. That's what they call it. They call it a fibromyalgia flare-up. It's a flare-up. Oftentimes when they come back, I'll get back to the moving. Oftentimes when it does flare up, it's because of something that you've done previously to bring about the flare. For instance, if you went to a wedding and you were dancing or enjoying yourself a little bit more, that's something that you do kind of out of the ordinary. So anything or any way that you overexert yourself, which is probably not oftentimes and not overexerting yourself to others, but because of the condition that you suffer with, it is overexerting yourself. I hear all kinds of things. You don't look sick. You don't act sick. 9 times out of 10, when you all see me in front of this camera, I am in some aspect of pain. I don't like to always talk on it because I don't want to be deemed as a hypochondriac. But the reality is I have a dresser full of medication. that I don't take every day. And the reason that I don't take it every day is because you never see me. I'd be in the bed all day, every day. But when I get the headaches are unbearable. In addition to that, I told you that you kind of don't eat much, because what comes with eating is irritable bowel. Irritable bowel, it's called IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. And what happens is everything that you eat kind of like gives you diarrhea. Sorry, I'm being very, very transparent, as this is a video on a bad fibromyalgia day. What I typically do on these days is I have on music in the background that is just very, very calming and very, very settling, and I just stay in the bed all day. I did say that I was going to come here and do the video because I want to be active. I have sensitivity with sound too. I hear something that's going on in the living room and it's irritating me, and normally it wouldn't. Another thing, when I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 2018, what had happened is I had moved. I had moved from one place to another, and when I moved, I had always all my life had problems with soreness, and I'm talking like extreme soreness. Like, for instance, you know, as a child, and that's soreness with my muscles. You know, as a child, when people go and they spend a night over at people's house, and if there's not enough room, they tell you to bring a sleeping bag. I could never be the one to sleep in a sleeping bag, because every time I slept on the floor, my body would be unusually sore. And I didn't understand, because my siblings weren't like that. Another thing is, I believe when I was about 14 or 15 years old, I had started an exercise program. As most of you know, that I was always the biggest girl in school. So being the biggest girl in school, I started an exercise program, not in school, but in my class. I started an exercise program. And when I started the exercise program, all I was doing was basically aerobics. And I lifted my leg up in the air. And when I lift my leg up in the air and my leg came down, something kind of pulled and popped. And my mother didn't know what it was, and I didn't know what it was. But what happened is I limped on that leg for about 2 weeks, and I had uncontrollable muscle spasms. That was, at 14 years old, the beginning of what I believe was me experiencing bouts of fibromyalgia. They did x-rays and everything, but what they found out was one of my legs was longer than the other. The one where I had the uncontrollable muscle spasms at that time, because they're all over. That leg was shorter than the other, and it's been like that ever since. I kind of walk with like a, I don't want to say a slew foot, because I don't have anything to do with the devil, but I kind of walk with like a little sway because of it. But I don't like to feel sick. I'm not a hypochondriac. I'd rather be up and doing stuff. I'd rather be up cleaning up. And if I'm not cleaning up, I'd rather be producing videos. I can't today. I can't at all. So what I technically do on those days when I have bad fibromyalgia days, I either look at TV, and if I'm not looking at TV, I'm sleeping. I didn't get out of bed today until I think a quarter to 11. I'll be back because there's something I do have to do. Sorry, that phone call. I don't wake up every day with the sole intention of wanting to feel well. I want to feel well every single day. You know, I guess one of the reasons every single time I cannot be taking my pillow out the way, be taking medication, because I wouldn't be able to do that for one time. powder in my makeup. So I just came here. Pretty much today is a lackadaisy day where I will be looking like this all day today. Won't be uploading too many videos, and I will be very, very, very with fibromyalgia comes a inability to digest things, and when you have those fibromyalgia flare-ups, the only thing that you technically can do is just lay down and sleep. And if you're not laying down and sleep, you're not doing anything because the movement causes nausea. If you eat something, it causes nausea. You have a lot of diarrhea. It just affects your body in such a negative way. When I was diagnosed with it, as I said, in 2008, I was 2022. I was 41 and 41 is not technically an age where people would get on disability unless the fact that one was actually born or had an accident that caused disability. At that time, at 41 years old, I was working, taking care of my children. I had two children who were under the age of 20 as a result of that trauma, the feelings that you have when you have fibromyalgia are the feelings of emotion. I do agree with that. However, it's good to know because there are days when I have muscle relax. Today is not one of those days. Today there is nausea, there is lethargia, I'm extremely tired. I always know when I'm going to have a flare-up. If the night before I don't sleep well, and I didn't sleep well last night. My real course, you can see the bags under my eyes. And this is totally no makeup for real. This is just all me, 100%. And I'm not even for someone. This is me. So, all I ask is that if you don't know about fibromyalgia, that you would take it upon yourself. And I thought I had my earphones in. One moment, y'all. I had in for the wall. I just asked that you would take it upon yourself to really, really read up it and find on it. The easiest way to explain it, if you're unfamiliar with what fibromyalgia is, I would recommend you reading about it. I can tell you about it because I experienced it and have been experiencing it for many, many years. But the really sad thing is it's just like any other condition. If you've never had it, you don't even understand it. You don't understand why a person would not be able to sleep or why a person would not be able to even just sit up. Like right now, I'm so nauseated and I have eaten nothing. So even if I were to get sick, what would come up? There's nothing in there and it's heavy. So I just want you all just to continue to keep me lifted up in prayer and pray for others that have to deal with this insane illness. It's real. I'm not one who needs to have a lot of attention. I don't need a lot of attention. I just am one who wants people to understand that fibromyalgia is real. not only for me, but for the many of other women who suffer from it, because we all do. It's very, 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 very real. It's very real, y'all. Like I said, I don't need attention. I'm pulling my stuff down. It's messing with my sheet, and I pulled it down, so I do apologize, y'all. Just continue to keep those who are sick and ill lifted up in prayer, and I do it all the time, no matter what the diagnosis is. I pray for the sick and the ill every single day, that God will provide a healing, because I believe that God can and that God will, in the name of Jesus. And that's one of the reasons that the enemy thinks that he can attack, because I do. I pray. I pray for all people. It doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter what you are suffering and dealing with. I pray. I pray that God would provide a healing, in the name of Jesus. Well, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Continue to keep me lifted up in prayer, as I will all of you. And I pray that God will continue to shine upon each and every one of your lives. I'm going to go ahead and go to sleep. I'll talk to y'all soon. God bless you, and I love you. Bye-bye.